So we are in the middle of ranking the top 30 players at each position in college basketball heading into next season, and in today's video we're going over the small forward position. But if you missed the last couple of videos where we ranked the point guard and shooting guard positions, make sure to go and check those out. And as a reminder, these rankings are based on how I think each of these players will perform next season, and if you don't see someone that you think should be included, they might be in one of the other positional ranking videos. But before we begin, if you enjoy the content, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel, as it helps us grow and is greatly appreciated. And now let's jump into it. As always, I want to start with some honorable mentions that just missed out on being in the top 30, and they are Elyjah Mahi from Santa Clara, Bryce Sandfort from Nebraska, Ian Elmer from Miami of Ohio, Keontae Jones from Dayton, and Devin Royal from Ohio State. But coming in at number 30 is Tyler Nickel from Vanderbilt, and he gives the Commodores a reliable scorer on the wing with the size and strength to impact the games in multiple ways. And at 6'7", he's coming off a season where he averaged 10.5 points while shooting an efficient 40.5% from 3, making him the Commodores' top perimeter threat. His role last year leaned heavily on catch-and-shoot opportunities, but with more size now on Vanderbilt's roster, Nickel will return to his natural small forward spot, opening up the chance to showcase more of his offensive versatility. He has the ability to attack closeouts, rise into pull-ups, and use his frame to bully defenders on straight-line drives, and Nickel's confidence and isolation scoring will be critical in filling the void left by Jason Edwards, and if he balances his perimeter shooting with a stronger inside presence, he could become one of the SEC's most dependable shot creators and play a defining role in Vanderbilt's season next year. Coming in at number 29 is Michael Ajayi, who enters Butler with the type of two-way versatility that makes him a difference maker. At 6'7", 230 pounds with a 7-foot wingspan, he combines physical strength with fluid athleticism, giving him the ability to impact the game on both ends of the floor. His rebounding numbers at Pepperdine a few seasons ago showcase how effective he can be in the paint, pulling down nearly 10 boards per game and consistently creating second chance opportunities for both him and his teammates. And offensively, his scoring touch is highlighted by a smooth mid-range game where he's comfortable of knocking down elbow jumpers or turning to tough fadeaways. He's also proven to be a weapon in transition, whether attacking the rim with power or stepping into rhythm threes on the brink. And while he can be predictable on offense at times, his face-up scoring and rebounding should provide Butler with a reliable and dynamic wing option. Coming in at number 28 is Rylan Griffen, who arrives at Texas A&M looking to rediscover the form that once made him a reliable scoring threat at Alabama and the SEC. At 6'6", with length and athleticism, he fits the mold of a modern wing who can stretch the floor and provides versatility on both ends. His time at Kansas last season was underwhelming, as he averaged just 6.3 points per game on 33.5% shooting from deep, but his sophomore season at Alabama showed his true upside, where he averaged 11 points per game on nearly 40% from beyond the arc, while stepping up in big tournament moments as well. And Griffen's smooth shooting stroke and ability to score off movement give him the potential to thrive in a pace and space system, while his size allows him to hold his own defensively against multiple positions. And if he can regain his rhythm from beyond the arc and balance his perimeter scoring with drives to the rim, he'll be a dangerous weapon for the Aggies. Coming in at number 27 is Tyrone Rylan, who steps into his sophomore season at San Francisco with the tools to be the focal point of the Don's attack. Riley is 6'6" and has great length and bounce, and he thrives as a slasher who consistently finishes plays around the rim. His athleticism allows him to rise over defenders, and he showed real efficiency last season by shooting over 50% from the field while averaging nearly 10 points and 6 rebounds per game. Riley's offensive rebounding stands out as a unique strength, as he not only tracks down extra possessions, but also converts them into immediate points through tip-ins and putbacks. And while his three-point shooting is still developing, he has shown enough promise as a catch-and-shoot option to keep defenses honest. Defensively, his awareness and effort separate him, using his length and mobility to guard multiple positions, and with his energy on both ends of the floor, Riley is primed to become San Francisco's go-to wing presence. Coming in at number 26 is Dailyn Swain, who brings a unique blend of size and versatility to Texas next season, as he stands at 6'8" with the ability to impact the game in multiple ways. His offensive strengths revolve around slashing as he attacks downhill with length and balance, finishing through contact or converting with touch around the paint. And in transition, he thrives as both a playmaker and a finisher, using his fluid movement and unselfish nature to create opportunities for teammates. Last season, he averaged 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, showcasing his ability to contribute across the board. Defensively, Swain's instincts and activity level make him disruptive with the tools to guard guards and wings alike. And while his perimeter shooting remains a concern, his awareness and constant off-ball movement allow him to stay involved offensively. And if he refines his decision-making and continues elevating his all-around game, Swain has the profile of a reliable two-way wing for the Longhorns. Coming in at number 25 is Kam Williams, who arrives at Kentucky after an efficient freshman season at Tulane, where his shooting and defensive presence stood out. Williams is 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan and provides the size and length coaches covet on the wing. He averaged 9.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and over a steal per game, while knocking down 41% from 3 on solid volume last season, and his range makes him a constant threat in transition and as a floor spacer, opening the court for his teammates. Defensively, he uses his length to disrupt passing lanes and contest shots, giving him value on both ends of the floor. And while his offensive impact can fade when his shots aren't falling, his efficiency and commitment to defending make him more than a one-dimensional player. And with Kentucky empowering him in a larger role, his ability to consistently hit from deep and anchor possessions defensively could make him one of the most impactful wings in the SEC. Coming in at number 24 is Kanon from Georgia, who brings an intriguing upside after flashing potential in limited minutes at BYU last season. Catching stands at 6'9" and has length and athleticism, and he projects as a modern wing who can stretch the floor and create mismatches. His shooting touch is already a weapon, hitting 35% from threes on nearly 4 attempts per game, and his ability to rise into clean looks off the dribble gives him value as a self-creator. In transition, catching runs the floor well and uses his quick decision-making to capitalize on fast breaks. And last season, he averaged 7 points per game while shooting 41% from the field and showed flashes of that 3-level scoring ability. Where he needs to grow, though, is on the defensive end, where he lapses in focus at times, which can cost him, and on the glass, where consistency is key. But if he continues to add strength and lock in defensively, especially with his frame, his offensive versatility makes him a dangerous weapon for the Bulldogs. Coming in at number 23 is Sarr, who arrives at Duke with a resume that already includes playing time in multiple leagues overseas, which is rare experience for a player of his age. And at 6'8", he combines size with explosive athleticism, giving him the ability to attack downhill and finish above the rim. In his time with Barcelona and the Italian national team showed his scoring versatility, as he can create off the bounce while also stretching the floor when he finds his rhythm from deep. And last season, Sarr proved he could impact games against professional competition, which makes him an intriguing addition to a young Duke roster. His shooting mechanics still need refinement though, as inconsistency from 3 limits him at times, but his quick first step and confidence as a slasher balances that weakness. And if he tightens up defensively and cuts down on mistakes with the ball, his blend of international experience and offensive explosiveness could be a game changer in the ACC. Coming in at number 22 is Dailey Jr. from UCLA. And Dailey heads into his junior year with a chance to settle into his natural wing role after spending much of last season at power forward out of necessity. At 6'7" with strength and athleticism, he gives the Bruins a versatile option who can guard multiple positions while also providing reliable scoring. Dailey started all 33 games a year ago for UCLA and averaged 11.5 points on an efficient 50.7% from the field, while also chipping in 4 rebounds per game. Offensively, he thrives as a finisher, using his physicality to attack the rim, but also showing touch from mid-range and flashes of 3-point range as well. and his shot selection and rebounding numbers, though, leave room for improvement, yet his confidence and ability to step up in big moments give him real value as a player. And with a larger role on the wing next season, his combination of defensive versatility and scoring could be pivotal for UCLA's success. Coming in at number 21 is Derrion Reid, who joins Oklahoma after a freshman season at Alabama, where flashes of his potential stood out despite limited minutes. At 6'8", with strength and mobility, he brings defensive versatility that allows him to switch onto guards while still holding his own on the inside, and his quick feet and physicality make him a disruptive defender on the perimeter, and his willingness to play with energy adds value to every possession. Offensively, Reid is still developing though, as he only averaged 6 points and 3 rebounds in 14 minutes per game last year with the Crimson Tide, but his smooth mechanics and off-ball movement hint at future growth as a reliable floor spacer, and he doesn't yet create much for himself, often relying on teammates to set him up, but his role as a connective piece fits well in Porter Moser's system, especially with the other transfers that they brought in, and if he refines his shooting consistency and asserts himself as a multi-positional defender, Reid has the tools to become a key factor for the Sooners. Coming in at number 20 is Elyjah Freeman, who arrives at Auburn after a breakout freshman season at Division II Lincoln Memorial, where his production and efficiency demanded attention. Freeman is a 6'8" wing who averaged 19 points and 9 rebounds while shooting an outstanding 46% from 3, showcasing both his scoring versatility and rebounding presence. And Freeman thrives as a spot-up shooter, but also attacks closeouts with confidence, finishing through traffic and displaying a reliable mid-range touch. His athleticism is a major strength, with highlight reel dunks and quickness that allow him to rebound above his position and defend multiple spots on the floor as well. But what makes him intriguing for Auburn is how seamlessly his game translates. His ability to stretch the floor, crash the glass, and make smart passes creates value in just about any system that emphasizes pace and balance. And if Freeman adjusts to the physicality of high major basketball, his combination of scoring, athleticism, and defensive tools gives Auburn a potential difference maker on the wing. Coming in at number 19 is Javon Hadley, as he returns to Louisville as a cornerstone of Pat Kelsey's system after a standout season that highlighted his versatility and high-level effort. Hadley is 6'6" and 215 pounds and combines size, strength, and athleticism to impact the game on both ends of the floor. He led the Cardinals in rebounding with 7.3 boards per game, while adding 12.2 points on 52% shooting and an improved 38% from deep, showing growth as a floor-spacing wing. Defensively, his versatility allows him to guard multiple positions, while his relentless motor ensures consistent energy and disruption at all times. Offensively, he functions as a reliable secondary or tertiary scorer who moves well off the ball and handles the pick and roll efficiently. Hadley's leadership and understanding of his role elevate those around him, and if he continues refining his outside shot and maintains his defensive intensity, he provides Louisville with a true 3-and-D presence capable of influencing just about every possession. Coming in at number 18 is Lamar Wilkerson, who arrives at Indiana as a proven scorer and an elite floor spacer, standing at 6'5" with the size to play the wing effectively as well. And he dominated at Sam Houston State last season, averaging 20.5 points per game while shooting 44.5% from 3, ranking among the nation's best in both volume and accuracy from deep. And Wilkerson thrives as a spot-up shooter, but has developed the ability to attack closeouts, create off the dribble, and convert mid-range shots when defenses sag off of him. And his pick-and-roll handling allows him to find teammates in addition to scoring for himself. And while defensive consistency remains a question for Wilkerson, his offensive firepower more than compensates for that, giving Indiana a go-to scoring threat. And with his polished shot making and ability to stretch the floor, Wilkerson provides matchup problems for opponents and can serve as a primary offensive weapon, capable of turning games around with his shooting and scoring efficiency. Coming in at number 17 is Baylor freshman Tounde Yessoufou, who is a physical and versatile wing that combines his length, strength, and explosive athleticism to dominate on both ends of the floor. Yessoufou is 6'5", and he attacks the rim with power and pace, using straight line drives, mid-post footwork, and quick finishes to score efficiently inside, while also developing his pull-up and rhythm three-point shot. Last season, his efficiency was evident, shooting 50% from the field and 80% from the free throw line, showing an ability to convert at multiple levels. And defensively, Yessoufu's length and mobility allow him to guard multiple positions, contest shots, and crash the boards effectively. And while his handle and shot consistency are still refining themselves, his relentless motor, pace in transition, and ability to create separation with both power and explosiveness make him a constant threat. And if he continues improving his shot and counters off the bounce, Yessoufou can be a two-way force capable of controlling games for the Bears. And coming in at number 16 is freshman Braylon Mullins, who enters UConn as one of the most lethal long-range shooters in the country, connecting on 47% of his three-point attempts last summer. Mullins is 6'6" and has solid size for a wing, and pairs his shooting with efficiency around the basket as well, converting 60% of his two-point attempts while showing the ability to attack closeouts and finish in transition. And Mullins is more than a shooter though. His off-ball movement, cutting, and feel for the flow of the offense make him a weapon in just about any system. Defensively, he stands out with quick lateral movement and active hands, which shows his toughness and competitiveness. And with his combination of elite shooting, defensive instincts, and versatility to create off the ball or handle the rock, Mullins provides UConn a high-impact presence who can stretch defenses and influence games on both ends. Coming in at number 15 is Blake Harper, who enters Creighton next season as a versatile 6'8" forward who impressed as a freshman at Howard with averages of 19.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game on 44.5% shooting from the field and shooting over 40% from three. Harper impacts the game in just about every phase, scoring efficiently at all three levels while using his size and strength to finish through contact. His rebounding, both offensively and defensively, translates well to higher level competition, and his high basketball IQ allows him to make smart reads and find teammates, evidenced by his 3.5 assists per game. Defensively, his length and physicality let him guard multiple positions, while his poise and decision-making enhances overall impact on the floor. And with the talent and system at Creighton, Harper's ability to create off the dribble, stretch the floor, and contribute across the stat sheet positions him to be a go-to option and a dynamic two-way presence next season. Coming in at number 14 is LeJuan Watts, who is a dynamic 6'6" forward joining Texas Tech after a breakout season at Washington State last year, where he averaged 13.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game, while shooting 55% from the floor and 42% from three. Watts thrives as a multi-dimensional playmaker, using his high basketball IQ and vision to find cutters, set up post touches, and initiate the fast break. And his offensive game is strongest around the rim, where he finishes efficiently using both hands and a low center of gravity, while also showing a reliable ability to score in straight line drives and selective three-point attempts. Defensively, his physicality and awareness gives him the tools to impact multiple positions, and Watts' combination of scoring, passing, and that rebounding versatility allows him to influence every facet of the game, making him a key two-way weapon for Texas Tech and a player capable of dominating the small forward role next season. Coming in at number 13 is Milan Mankiewicz, who gives Iowa State one of the most skilled scoring forwards in the country, with a polished offensive package that makes him a threat at every level. Last season, he averaged 11.5 points while shooting nearly 40% from three, showcasing his ability to stretch the floor as a pick and pop option or a catch and shoot weapon. But what makes him stand out is the variety in his scoring. He seals well in the post, has a reliable jump hook, and uses crafty footwork to create space for mid-range pull-ups and high-arcing one-legged fadeaways. And with a smooth shooting mechanics and a strong feel for the game, he thrives in both on-ball and off-ball situations, making him difficult to scheme against for just about any team. And the key for Mankiewicz is growth on the defensive end, where improving his foot speed and positioning will allow him to stay on the floor longer and fully maximize his offensive impact next season. Coming in at number 12 is Terrence Arsenault, who decided to transfer to NC State in the offseason. Arsenault is a high upside wing whose impact starts with his defense and athleticism. He's 6'6" with a long wingspan and explosive leaping ability, and he thrives as a disruptive presence, piling up deflections, blocks, and tough contests that can swing the momentum. Offensively, Arsenault has shown steady growth, raising his shooting efficiency across the board last season at Houston, while averaging 6.5 points and nearly 3 rebounds per game. His improved three-point shot and ability to attack off cuts make him a valuable off-ball piece, while his transition finishing adds another layer to his game. And though he's not a primary scorer or playmaker, his knack for delivering in big moments stands out. And for NC State, his pathway to becoming a difference maker comes from pairing his elite defensive tools with a reliable perimeter jumper and just more of an opportunity to play than he had at Houston. And if that balance holds, Arsenault's athletic two-way presence could reshape games in the ACC for NC State next season. And coming in at number 11 is Thomas Houck, who made his mark last season as Florida's high-energy sixth man, and now he's stepping into a much bigger role on the wing. The 6'9" junior averaged 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists across 40 games last season, and showed steady growth as a scorer and defender during the Gators' national championship run. His combination of length, mobility, and defensive versatility allows him to guard multiple positions, while offensively he thrives in transition, attacking closeouts and finishing at the rim. But what pushed him forward was his shooting improvement, jumping to 34% from 3 and nearly 80% at the free throw line, proving he can stretch the floor while still impacting the paint. And Florida plans to feature him more at the 3 next season, where his passing, rebounding, and toughness can shine. And if Houck consistently blends perimeter shooting with downhill attacks, he'll be one of the SEC's most complete and impactful wings. Coming in at number 10 is Gonzaga transfer Tyon Grant-Foster, whose basketball journey has been anything but ordinary, but his impact on the court speaks for itself. The 6'7" wing thrived at Grand Canyon the past couple of seasons, where he earned WAC Player of the Year honors in 2024 and followed it with another strong campaign despite battling injuries last season. He averaged 15 points while leading the conference in scoring during league play at 17.5 points per game on 53% shooting, showing his ability to attack downhill and finish through contact mainly. Grant-Foster, though, isn't a perimeter marksman, but his athleticism, defensive instincts, and knack for creating turnovers make him a force on both ends of the floor. And transition play is another area where he shines, using his speed and length to generate easy baskets for himself and others. And at Gonzaga, his experience and two-way versatility will be pivotal, and if he consistently applies his defensive intensity while serving as a slashing scorer, he can elevate into one of the nation's most impactful wings, in my opinion. Coming in at number 9 is Andreas Stojakovic, who arrives at Illinois this season as one of the most intriguing transfers in the country. The 6'7" wing showcased his scoring versatility at Cal, where he averaged 18 points per game while also leading the team in blocks. His strength, though, lies in attacking off the dribble, posting up smaller defenders, and finishing around the rim, where he converted nearly 55% of his attempts. And while his three-point shooting has yet to match the reputation of his father, Peja Stojakovic, his ability to create his own shot and find scoring opportunities off the ball makes him a difficult matchup for just about anyone. Defensively, his length and timing allow him to disrupt plays, though added strength will only elevate his impact in that area. And he's surrounded by a stronger supporting cast at Illinois, and improved efficiency from deep and consistency as a slasher will make him the type of dynamic wing who drives both his own game and the Illini ceiling even higher. Coming in at number 8 is Nate Ament, who arrives at Tennessee as one of the most hyped freshmen in the country, and for good reason. Ament is 6'9" and brings a rare blend of size, fluid movement, and advanced scoring instincts that make him one of the most intriguing prospects in college basketball next season. His shooting touch is already a major strength, and he pairs that with a smooth, high-release jumper that extends well beyond the arc. And he's also starting to showcase flashes as a ball handler and passer, hinting at a more well-rounded offensive game to come. but the biggest question is his physical maturity, as his wiry frame and upright posture can make him susceptible to contact, and finishing through physicality is still developing for him. But as he gains more strength and continues asserting himself, Tennessee has a potential matchup nightmare who can impact the SEC immediately while also carrying long-term star potential. Coming in at number 7 is Miles Byrd, who has carved out his reputation as one of the best defensive wings in college basketball, and his production on that end has been a difference maker for San Diego State the past couple of seasons. Byrd averaged 12.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2 steals and 1 block last season, and consistently turned defense into offense with his length and relentless motor. On ball, his quick hands and wingspan made him a nightmare for opposing guards, while his anticipation off ball created transition chances for the Aztecs. Offensively, Byrd is still developing, as his 38% shooting from the field and 30% from 3 reflect inconsistency there, but his free throw numbers near 83% point to real shooting upside. And he also flashes creativity as a secondary playmaker though, showing vision and flair that add another layer to his game. And if that jumper stabilizes like I think it will, and he maintains his defensive dominance, Byrd can elevate into a high-impact two-way threat who sets the tone for San Diego State next season. Coming in at number 6 is Chad Baker-Mazara, who enters the season as one of the most experienced wings in the country, and his game reflects years of development across multiple programs. Baker-Mazara is 6'7", and he thrives as a versatile offensive piece, spacing the floor with consistent shooting touch. However, despite an unorthodox mechanic, he connected on 38% of his threes last season at Auburn, with elite efficiency on catch-and-shoot looks and a reliable stroke at the free throw line as well. And his ability to score off the dribble and finish at the rim, where he converted 65% of those attempts, adds another layer to his offensive impact. But beyond scoring, Baker-Mazara proved his value as a secondary playmaker at Auburn, averaging nearly 3 assists per game and showing vision in pick-and-roll actions. Defensively, his length and quickness make him disruptive in passing lanes, and his switchability allowed Auburn to remain one of the nation's best defensive units. And if he carries that efficiency and defensive edge into USC's system, he'll be a difference maker for the Trojans in the Big Ten. Coming in at number 5 is Carter Knox, who chose to return to Arkansas after originally declaring for the NBA draft. But Knox showed flashes of star potential in his freshman season, and with a larger role on the way, he's primed for a breakout year. Knox is 6'6" with a strong frame and a 6'10" wingspan, and he already brings NBA caliber physical tools to the wing spot. And his offensive game is built on his versatility, as Knox can knock down threes, create in the mid-range, and attack the rim with power, where he converted nearly 75% of his attempts last season. He also averaged 8.5 points and 3.5 rebounds, but his production doesn't fully capture the dynamic scorer he can become. He thrives in transition, uses his footwork to gain separation, and has shown flashes of being a tough shot maker when defenses close out aggressively. And defensively, his size and athleticism give him the ability to guard multiple positions, but consistency on that end will determine just how far he climbs on this list. And if his effort matches his talent, I believe Knox can transform into one of the toughest covers in the country. And coming in at number 4 is another Louisville Cardinal in Ryan Comwell, as he is a dynamic scoring wing who has proven himself as one of college basketball's most lethal shooters. Last season, he averaged 16.5 points per game on 45, 41, and 85 shooting splits, and he combines a quick left-handed release with deep range, making him a constant threat off the catch and the dribble. Comwell thrives in movement-heavy offenses, coming off screens, attacking closeouts, and creating spacing for teammates. And while he is slightly undersized at 6'4" for this position, his strength, body control, and ability to finish over length allow him to hold his own against bigger defenders. And he has also shown growth as a secondary ball handler, keeping turnovers low while setting up his teammates. And with his elite shooting, scoring versatility, and the high basketball IQ that he brings, I believe Comwell can anchor Louisville's perimeter attack, push defenses and transition, and especially stretch the floor, which will establish himself as one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the nation next season. Coming in at number 3 is Cohen Carr, who has emerged as one of the most explosive athletes in all of college basketball, showcasing elite leaping ability, above the rim finishing, and power that makes him a constant transition threat. Carr has shown versatility to slide to power forward in certain matchups, using his size and strength to absorb contact at the rim against bigger defenders, but this season it looks like he might be playing more of a small forward role for the Spartans, which I think is going to be really interesting. But last season, he averaged 8 points and 3.5 rebounds across 37 games while steadily adding skill to match his physical gifts. And although his left-hand dominance is noticeable, he's steadily improving his offhand finishing, and his outside shot is developing as well. Defensively, Carr's length, athleticism, and mobility allow him to guard multiple positions, contest shots, and protect the rim in spurts. And with the continued growth in shooting and ball handling, as well as his decision-making, Carr can transform his athleticism into a multi-dimensional scoring and defensive force at the collegiate level next season. Coming in at number 2 is Indiana transfer Tucker DeVries, who enters next season as one of college basketball's most polished offensive weapon, known for his ability to score from all 3 levels. DeVries is 6'6", and he combines a quick, high-release jumper with an efficient mid-post game, using footwork and smart movement to create space and scoring opportunities. His shooting from beyond the arc is elite when healthy, as evidenced by a 47% mark over 8 games at West Virginia last season, and he thrives in catch-and-shoot and off-screen situations. DeVries also reads defense as well, relocates effectively, and demonstrates the poise as a seasoned floor general. And while he's not the biggest athlete and limited laterally on defense, he uses IQ and positioning to remain effective. And last season, he averaged 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals before a shoulder injury cut his year short. But with full health, DeVries can dominate as a primary scorer and floor spacing threat at Indiana. But coming in at number 1 is AJ Dybantsa, who headlines BYU's incoming freshman class as one of the most talented prospects in all of college basketball, and bringing a rare combination of size, skill, and athleticism. Dybantsa is 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan and developing a 200+ pound frame, and he already possesses the physical tools of a prototypical NBA wing. He excels at creating his own shot, particularly with his mid-range pull-up, while his handle, footwork, and length allow him to attack the rim and extend his range out to the three-point line. But beyond scoring, his movement and defensive instincts give him the ability to cover ground like few players his size, and flashes of disruption on defense suggest he can impact both ends of the floor as well. And surrounded by veteran teammates and floor spacers at BYU, Dybantsa is positioned to be the team's primary offensive threat, and a strong, well-rounded season would elevate him into national prominence. And I'm expecting him to have an incredible year with BYU next season, on his way to becoming the number 1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. And with that, let me know in the comments what you think of my rankings of the top small forwards in college basketball heading into next season. Also, make sure to check out my last positional rankings videos where we rank the top 30 point guards and the top 30 shooting guards in college basketball. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.